Hello, my friend, and welcome to Something for Everybody. My name is Aaron Machbitz, and today is a solo episode of the podcast where I'm doing an end of the year recap. We're coming very close to the end of 2024 and moving right into 2025. So this episode I'm recording on December 12th, 2024. It actually is going to be released on December 27th, 2024, because on December 23rd, I'm leaving for a 10-day cruise to end the year off with my wife and my parents to have a great time. So I'm recording some episodes a little bit early, but this is going to be the last solo episode of 2024. Then episode 324, which is the last guest episode of 2024 will be released right on December 31st. That episode is with Michael McLean. It's a great episode. And then we'll move right into 2025 with the first episode of 2025 being released on January 3rd, 2025. And that's going to be a goals masterclass, a goals and targets masterclass. So you're really going to want to tune into that one on January 3rd, because that's going to kickstart everything you want to do going into 2025 to try and make that the best year of your life. And I've done a bunch of episodes leading up to this with guests and solo that can already give you the tools and applications and skills to start becoming that best version of yourself. I talk about this a lot. One of the key themes of this podcast, one of the key habits we want to adapt is making your habits too small to fail. So now as we're in December and we're thinking about all this stuff that might come up on social media, new year, new you, New Year's resolutions, all of these sorts of things are going to be flooded into your feed, into your brain. Conversations are going to be had, but you have to simplify it all down. You really have to simplify it all down and get very clear and get a lot of clarity on who you want to be and what direction you want to go in, okay? It's not about speed. Our direction is way more important than our speed. We always overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but underestimate what we can do in 3 years. So have a longer term vision this year. Yes, you might be working towards something, right? Again, you might be working towards a wedding or a vacation or a this or a that. Forget about all that. That's all external bullshit that's not going to keep you disciplined long enough to get where you want to go. You have to have a longer term vision, simplify it all the way down to the smallest steps that you will take, and you build from there. Again, the analogy of the skyscraper is absolutely incredible. To build a huge, massive, tall building that's sturdy and durable, you have to dig very deep into the ground, as deep as possible. That's what you have to do. That's what making your habits too small to fail is. So they're sturdy and they're durable and they have a long horizon of you to continuously get better over time. And so, yeah, I didn't know I was going to talk about this right here, but it's fresh on my mind. And I care about you becoming the best version of you. That's what this podcast is about. This podcast is about making your prior best your new baseline. So our highs are higher, our new highs are higher, and our old lows are higher. So we just keep elevating and elevating. We're still going to have lows. Of course, it's part of life. It's inevitable. There's always going to be that, but they're just going to be a little bit higher than they were before. And our highs are now higher because our prior best is our new baseline. That's a beautiful way to start thinking about elevating yourself in whatever domain you live in. And so we got to make those habits too small to fail. And when I release that episode on January 3rd, that goals and targets masterclass, I really urge you to sit down, take some notes, and think about how you can attack your life going into this year, right? You have to ask yourself questions. If you want better answers, you have to ask yourself questions. The best coaches that I've ever had in my whole life ask great questions because it made me think in a new way, in a different way, have a different perspective. Oh, I get this now. Light bulb moments, all of that stuff. You are your best coach. You are your best coach. So if you're not getting the right answers from yourself, you need to ask yourself different questions to see in a different perspective to push you past the starting line, right? Because getting to the starting line is always going to be the hardest part. And then we take those little steps forward. We take those little steps forward that we can capitalize on, that we can stack up, and we can be credible, and then we can have all of this stuff, not all of this stuff, but all of these feelings of joy and fulfillment and accomplishment, and be proud of ourselves and have that credible evidence that we are who we say we are moving into 2025. And then it's a whole different ball game heading into 2026 of what we can accomplish, who we can be, the world we can change, what service we can be in, what value we can give to others, what relationships we can create, all of that unbelievable stuff. So again, this is going to be episode 323. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a listener. If you're brand new here, I fucking love you. If you've been here the whole time, I fucking love you. If you came here halfway through, I fucking love you. Thank you. Because here's some numbers of the year. I really want to share these because I'm very proud of them, and I'm very proud of the people that show up here every week, twice a week, whatever you do, that support on Patreon, that share, that like, that subscribe, that comment, that send the episodes to their friends. Like, that's the best marketing that we have. Yes, I can post all day on social and I can do all these cool things on social and run ads and whatever. But the best marketing forever and always will be you. If you enjoyed the episode, you found value in the episode, and you just send it to everyone that you know. You just send it off like, hey, I think you would enjoy this episode. Hey, I think you would enjoy this episode. Hey, I think you would enjoy this episode. That's how the community grows. That's how the podcast grows. And that's how we continue changing and elevating lives. So in 2024, I started doing them at the end of 2023. But in 2024, I decided to do shorter episodes a couple times a week to give just sort of a burst of information, a burst of knowledge to people in between the longer episodes. So at the start of 2024, I released Random Stuff 20. It's called Random Stuff because that's also the name of my newsletter. The newsletter comes out every Friday. It's free. You can subscribe to that on aaronmashbitz.com. But then we got all the way up to Random Stuff 149. So in 2024, I released 129 Random Stuff episodes, which are just very short episodes. Normally, those come out on Sunday and Monday, and then Thursday I usually have a very short original piece of content. Well, I guess they're all original, but Thursdays I've been doing sort of news, culture stuff that's on my mind. It's like usually somewhere between 4 to 8 minutes, and then on Sunday and Monday I'm doing those Random Stuff episodes, and you can get all of those notifications, all of those delivered right to your inbox if you subscribe to the newsletter. So that's a really cool project that I decided to take on with the Random Stuff. I saw Jocko doing some sort of short episodes related to his like exclusive content. So I figured, okay, I can do more. I'll release some Random Stuff episodes a couple times a week. And hopefully that encourages more people to want to subscribe to the Patreon, to support the podcast, but ultimately to give people more value, which is the whole point of the podcast. And then we have full episodes. The podcast started, way back when I was doing episodes every other week, and then I decided to do every week. And now I do 2 full episodes every week. They come out on Tuesday with a guest and Friday solo. And then on Wednesday/Thursday, Wednesday is when the video comes out. Thursday is when the audio comes out. It's another original piece of content. So really it's almost 3 full episodes a week on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. And then Sunday and Monday, we have the Random Stuff. So really, 5 days a week you have audio, 6 days a week you have video. Like it's a pretty intense content schedule that I got going on here. And I'm really proud of the consistency, which is one of the themes of this podcast, along with, making your habits too small to fail. And I just wanted to share that for anyone else who may be starting their podcast journey, or for anyone who wants to go out and get after it. Like it takes a lot of work and effort, especially to be an entrepreneur, a solo entrepreneur. But if you love the thing, which we're going to talk about a little bit, which is process, and I love doing the thing. I honestly love, making this new studio and sitting behind the camera and talking to you and working things out as they come to me. And I don't really know what I'm going to say next. Had no idea that I was going to talk about habits at the beginning, and I'm just flowing and I feel in flow, and I want to create more content because I want the content to reach as many people as humanly possible, trying to create the content that I needed when I was young to elevate myself, to become the man that I know that I could. Thank God I had great parents, and I had a great dad and great mom and great coaches and great friends to elevate me. But what if you could use it through this podcast? What if you don't have access to some of those great things? Why can we use the internet or podcast to help me elevate myself, to have a role model, a mentor that could potentially change my life? And I want to be that for anyone who listens, especially the young men who feel like no one's looking out for them. Well, I want to look out for you. And so that's why I'm trying to produce as much content as possible. also to show the value of hard work. Like when you put in work, like I don't have any money backing me. I don't have a news company. I don't have, I have video guy, Ben, it's me and him, and we're out here just fucking trying to crush it. And we're producing content, and we're using all the resources that we have, and we're trying to make things as good as possible. So if you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, anything, topics, like please shoot them our way. We're going to hear them. We're going to listen to them. And I appreciate that. So, and I love it this way, and I want to keep it like this for as long as possible. I don't want to have a massive production and team and all these sorts of stuff. I want to keep it me, the camera, information, and a guest, like obviously with clear audio and good cameras and all that stuff that is available now, right? But just like this massive production, I just think I don't know, but I'm not at that point, right? Like, so who knows, I might change my opinion on it, but the most important part is actually doing the thing. The most important part is actually having the conversations, listening, learning, engaging, picking a topic, talking about it, breaking it down, thinking about it in different ways. Like that's going to be the most important part. The conversation is going to be always the most important part. Anything else that comes extra is super cool. And so I'm just going to try and stay as consistent as possible to produce the best conversations and the best insights I possibly can with all the stuff I'm learning and reading and looking at. And with that said, episode 216 was the first episode of 2024. And like I said, the episode with Michael McLean, episode 324, which will be released on December 31st, 2024. That'll mean we released 108 full episodes in 2024, along with those episodes that I said that get released video Wednesday, audio Thursday, along with 129 random stuff episodes. So we were really, really moving and grooving this year, and that's sort of going to be our content flow heading into 2025. And so audio, video is going to be the best place to follow us. The audio gets released first, and then about 5-6 hours later, the video gets released. And so, yeah, you're going to want to follow and subscribe on Spotify and Apple. But if you're a big video person, obviously go subscribe on YouTube. We're very close to 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you feel like going over there and subscribing, please do. And so that's sort of the episodes that we released this year. And then Spotify Wrapped came out, and those numbers are pretty cool. We had major increases just like we did the year before. We've just been steadily increasing our listenership and our followers and our streams each and every year. Pretty sure we're in the top 1% of all podcasts ranked globally, which is pretty cool. But I'm just trying to do the best I can. And so according to Spotify Wrapped, we had an 8% increase in listeners. We had a 247% increase in streams, and we had a 229% increase in followers. And I think one of the coolest parts is that 88% of all my listeners came from this year. And so it just goes to show that you just got to keep working. I mean, this is the 4th year of the podcast, and you just got to keep putting out content. That's all you got to do. And you got to iterate, and you got to review, and you got to make it better, and you got to take suggestions and feedback and think about how you want to grow and improve. But if you're not actually doing the thing, then you're never going to get better. You have to actually do the thing on a consistent basis, right? Thinking about doing the thing is not doing the thing. The only thing that's doing the thing is doing the thing. And so thank you. Like really thank you if you tuned in at all, if you shared an episode, if you commented, if you watched an episode, if you downloaded it. Well, I don't even know what you did, but if you did anything in regards to supporting me, this podcast, and the work we're trying to do here, I thank you. And I really love you. And again, the best marketing tool we have is you just sharing the episode or episodes with as many people as possible. So thank you. And before we get into the lessons I've learned this year, or the most important lessons that I feel like I take away on a consistent basis, it would be remiss if I didn't talk about the most important moment that happened in 2024, which was my wedding. It was amazing. I did a full episode recapping this. We did a full vlog on this, so please check that out. It'll be linked in the show notes below. Full episode just telling you how amazing the whole weekend was from Thursday to Sunday, and my wife and our family, and how many great times we had. And then we did a vlog too. The vlog is pretty freaking cool. So yeah, go to the YouTube channel, check all of that out. But it was amazing. I got married on September 22nd, 2024 to the love of my life, who actually went on this show one time when she did her love letter to me. You can also check that out on YouTube. That's an amazing thing. I mean, all three of those things like sort of encapsulate our love and our wedding and this journey we've been on. I did a love letter. She did a love letter. We did a wedding video. We did a wedding vlog. Like all of that culminated into a really magical and beautiful weekend with our friends and with our family. And it was the best weekend I've ever had in my whole life. One, because obviously I got married to the love of my life, but also because everyone I love the most was there. My best friends, my homies, my family, my parents, my cousins. Like everyone that I love was there. And there's just not a better feeling in the world when you're celebrated and supported and surrounded by that much love, because life is always going to be fragile and precious. And you never know how many moments like that you're going to have. And to be able to have one is beyond special and beyond important. And I think about it often. And it's great to recap and review like I'm doing right here. Live, just like straight off the cuff, off the dome, whatever comes to my brain. And that's what it is, because that was really important. And we gotta be in the present moment. We have to be planted exactly where our feet are when these moments happen. And we have to work on that. We have to practice that. We have to practice being present, or else we're going to let these moments that are so incredible pass us by. Because if we're missing the mundane, ordinary moments, the not so ordinary that are very special, we're not going to be as present for those moments that we deem big. We have to practice being exactly where our feet are and enjoying the moment and loving exactly what is. And my wedding was that. Couldn't have gone any better. So shout out to my parents. They're fucking incredible. Shout out to my wife. And thank you. If you attended the wedding and you're listening or watching this or whatever, thanks for being there. I appreciate you. I love you as well. Share the episode with a friend. Share it. But yeah, I mean, that was the top moment of 2024 without a doubt. And we're ending the year off by going on a cruise to the Caribbean. And so December 23rd to like January 3rd to end the year off and kick the year off right. And then we're gunning. So I've recorded a bunch of stuff early. So we're still on the same release schedule. Everything will be released as is. And then we're moving and grooving, running and gunning, going into 2025. It's going to be an amazing year, another great year, a lot of blessings. A lot of great things happening, a lot of love, a lot of content, a lot of great conversations. So thank you very much for tuning in this far, for supporting me, for loving me. Now let's get into 3 lessons that I think are extremely important. These are the themes. These are the themes that I always come back to, along with, making your habits too small to fail, which is a foundational piece of this podcast and the way I want to improve my life. These 3 also lessons are just a cornerstone of my life as an athlete, a content creator, a speaker, a husband. This is who I want to be. And the lessons are consistency, be the best at getting better, and having a process mindset. Consistency, it explains itself. There is no path forward to anything that you want to do in life unless you are consistent. You first must be consistent before you can become exceptional. Consistency is the starting point. I will be consistent. Every single day I will show up. Every single day I will show up. You have to be committed. You have to create a bright line that you're willing to go down that path regardless of how you feel. You have to be consistent. There is no other way. You can't be on and off and expect to be great. You have to go in all the way, consistent, constantly showing up, because again, consistency is the only way. And that's the difference. That's going to be the difference between you thinking about your dreams and you actually accomplishing your dreams. You thinking about doing the thing and actually doing the thing is always going to come down to showing up consistently. So make that a core value of who you want to be. Make that part of your identity. Your identity is that you are consistent. You are a consistent person. Create credible evidence in your brain, your body, your soul, your life with action that you are a consistent person. And then it becomes who you are. Then it becomes automatic, just like brushing your teeth or going to the bathroom. It's not something you have to think about. You just are a consistent person. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. You do what you say you're going to do. That's the cornerstone of any great performer. They do what they say they're going to do, which means they are consistent. So that's a lesson that I always come back to, a theme, something that's very, very, very important to me. And the next one is built off being consistent. If we are consistent, then our focus is on being the best at getting better, right? Don't worry about being the best. Worry about being the best at getting better. All you can control is your effort. You've got no idea what is going on in the lives of other people and vice versa. They've got no idea what's going on in your life. So focus on continual improvement and then let the chips fall where they may. I almost guarantee that if you are consistent, you show up every single day, even when it's hard, and your focus is on your effort and your focus is on continual improvement and your focus is on being the best at getting better, and you give yourself a long-term horizon, there's just no way that the chips don't fall in a good way. There's just no way that things don't at least work out pretty good for you if you dominate those couple things. If you're consistent, if you show up even when it's hard and you focus on your effort and being the best at getting better. There's just no way. I've never seen it happen in real time where things don't actually go pretty good if those are the things that you dominate on a day-to-day basis. And the last thing to sort of summarize it is the mindset, is the process mindset. It's process over outcome, process over outcome, process over outcome. 99.999% of life is the process. Outcomes are fleeting. The destination is a mere moment in time. So focus on the path, focus on continual improvement, focus on effort. That's where life is lived and excellence is forged. So if you want to think about developing this process mindset, which we'll talk about more in the Goals and Targets Masterclass, but just a quick snippet here to get you moving in the right direction. One, you want to set that goal or target. And then two, figure out the steps to achieving that are within your control. Three, mostly then forget about it. Forget about that goal or target to focus on nailing the steps instead. Why? Because your direction is now figured out, and that's more important than your speed. You're heading towards your target. You know the steps that you need to get there that are within your control, and you're just focusing on nailing those steps and largely forgetting about the outcome. Because if we're dominating the process, that's what we're thinking about. And then if you catch yourself obsessing about the outcome, use it. Use it as a cue, as an awareness cue to get back to doing the work itself that's within your control. That's process over outcome. That's process over outcome, which is inherently supported by being the best at getting better. And you can't be the best at getting better if you're not showing up consistently, especially when it's hard. So if you dominate these three protocols, one, being consistent, like showing up every single day, especially when it's hard. Two, you just focus on continual improvement. You focus on your effort. Ultimately, you say, I'm going to be the best at getting better every single day because I'm consistently showing up even when it's hard. And then you wrap that all up into this process mindset of focusing on the process. You're focusing on the steps that are going to get you towards your target. You're focusing on your direction. You're not obsessing over the outcome. You're thinking, I am process over outcome, because that's a well-lived life of excellence. So the process mindset, the process over outcome mindset is about focusing on the things that are within your control that are going to get you closer to the target or goal that you identified, but you're not obsessing over that outcome. You're obsessing over the things within your control, which is your effort, and being the best at getting better and showing up every single day, even when it's hard. So those are the important lessons that I've really learned about doing this podcast, about being an athlete, about working with athletes, about working with people. And if we can nail those things, man, if we can nail those things, we're much better off than those that are not, that are just thinking about things. We're action oriented, right? We have awareness, then we have acceptance, and then we have action. And action is always going to be the most important thing. We have to do the thing on a consistent basis. Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. And so that's my end of the year recap episode for this podcast, which is something for everybody. This is episode 323 of this podcast. We got one more episode to end the year, so check check that out. And then we're moving, rolling, and shaking right into 2025 for another great big year. So again, I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for your support. I really, really, really do love you and appreciate you. And this community is amazing. The best way to support this podcast is by jumping on at Patreon, patreon.com/Aaron Machbitz. Join the exclusive community. Wow. Join the exclusive community. We've done like 500 podcast episodes and I still can't speak. So, we're always getting better here, right? Be the best at getting better. That's why I'm in here sitting on this chair doing the work on a consistent basis. But thank you. Join us over on Patreon, sign up to the newsletter, subscribe to the YouTube channel, whatever. But most importantly, share the episodes with a friend. That's the best marketing tool we have. And I appreciate you. I love you. I wish you the best. And I can't wait to keep unlocking our greatness together as we move into 2025. So cheers. Thank you very much for tuning into that episode. And if you enjoyed it, click right here for another full-length episode of the podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe. But most importantly, above all else, please take good care of yourselves and others. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Cheers.